I'm just coming from attempting a workout just now and thought, I've got to be honest with everyone. I'm struggling right now. You see, I've been dealing with a painful shoulder injury along with chronic issues with my feet and a long time diagnosis of fibromyalgia that's just been brutal. You see, I just spent the last 8 years slowly and painfully recovering from a completely broken body from playing so many sports, especially from representing Jamaica in volleyball. Prior to my daughter, sports was perhaps the only thing that gave me joy, and even though enduring so much pain all those years that took away a lot of the fun, I just loved to do it. So I was feeling so good and even started to play competitive basketball again and my new sport, pickleball, which I think was going great while consistently working out. I know that when I'm fit and strong, it translates into every aspect of my life, but these new and old injuries have now set me back years, both physically and emotionally. Now it feels like I've lost it all again, and I'm finding it so hard to muster up the courage to work out because it's so painful and depressing to know that I just can't do it. There's perhaps nothing more humbling than being at your strongest in one instance and your weakest in the very next. But here's what hit me. I'm now wondering if this is what it feels like for anyone who's just starting out. This raw weakness and frustration and the voice in my head that keeps saying, why even bother? If you're going through something like this, believe me, I think I get it. I really do. But I must get out of this defeatist mode. So I think I've got to get my ego in check. I just want to pick up the heavy weights I was used to dominating. What am I doing with a 10-pound dumbbell that my 6-year-old can lift? But I know if I keep chasing this old version of myself, I know I'll stay injured, stuck and angry. I think it's good to have a target to aspire to. And in my case, I do have the evidence that I can get there, but I simply have to get my ego in check and be willing to start from scratch. It feels so hard but necessary to embrace these baby steps that I need to do right now. So I've started some stretching and walking. I tried a little running at first, but that was a disaster. But now I've seen some progress. And progress compounds, so I have to tell myself that the small wins today can rebuild my confidence, and hopefully I'll get some bigger wins tomorrow. And this should give me some momentum that I need. This video is perhaps me asking for help indirectly. I'm just so used to being doggedly disciplined and always volunteering to help, but now that tables have turned, I think I might be like an unsaved pastor and, the ones that preach the gospel of Christ but truly don't believe a word. So I need to let myself know that asking for help isn't showing weakness. In fact, it's a good strategy for success. I've realized that what's overwhelming my mind is me focusing on what I physically can't do right now, but you know what? I need to just focus and appreciate what I still can. I can still train my core, I can still stretch, I can still kind of run up and down the hill and play a very reduced version of my sports, which is still a privilege that so many others perhaps are not able to do. When one door closes, we shouldn't stare at them so long that you miss the one still open. There's always something you can do, and we need to focus there. At the beginning of the year, I had set some ambitious fitness targets before my injuries. Now I'll have to redefine what progress means. So the definition I'm going to work with is: progress isn't always heavier, faster, or bigger. Sometimes it's simply consistency without quitting. Truer words have not been said that Rome wasn't built in a day and neither was your body. Thanks, Tony Horton. For me, patience and persistence is arguably the hardest part. I know that recovery takes time and rebuilding takes time and starting over is never quick, says me, the unsaved pastor. But I know if I stick with it and keep showing up, especially in the days when it feels hopeless, those days is when I usually feel best about myself when I've completed it. So here's my confession. I'm frustrated, I'm in pain, I feel weaker than I've felt in years, but I'm not quitting. Starting over is painful, but it's also powerful. because it strips away my ego and forces patience and makes me earn every ounce of progress again. The things that we've worked so hard for all of these years, we've now probably taken for granted, and when it's taken away is when we remember to appreciate it. So I'm going to try to appreciate more the baby wins that I get and try to focus on what I can do and redefine progress while trying to stay patient. Because I simply don't have a choice. I must get back on track.